Good afternoon, and welcome to Straight Talking with Kelly, where real conversations happen. This is where you'll meet the most talented, intelligent, and creative people who come to share tips, resources, and knowledge on various topics. The guests come from various industries, including education, the arts, health and wellness, and community advocates, and more. Join me in welcoming my guest, Cashea Airy, as she talks about her career aspirations and her recently launched beauty line, Sincerely Cash. Welcome, Cashea.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I cannot wait to learn a little bit more about Sincerely Cash, and then, your aspirations of being a journalist. But before we discuss her career aspirations and her beauty line, let me give you a little bit of background about Cashea Airy. Cashea is a flight attendant for a major U.S. airline, an aspiring broadcast journalist, and a reporter for New York University's The Click. Her work has appeared on Spectrum News 1, Southern California, and Inside the Issues with Alex Cohen. She is from the San Francisco Bay Area and completed her undergraduate studies at UCLA and Sacramento State University. She is pursuing a master's degree in American journalism at the Arthur L. Carter Institute of Journalism at New York University. Cashea enjoys traveling, working out, reading, and discovering new restaurants and coffee shops. She also recently launched her beauty line, Sincerely Cash, which offers makeup tools and tips for makeup artists and everyday women. Wow, aren't you the little busy bee?
Just a little bit, but I
Hey,
keep me going.
you know what? The beautiful thing that you do have things to keep you going, and I applaud you. I think it's awesome. So, Cash, I have known you all of your life, even before you were here, which is awesome. So it just gives me such a thrill having you here. So I can't wait to find out a little bit more about you. So can you give us some background on where you were born and raised and some of the schools you attended?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was born in Redwood City, California, probably about a 20-minute or so drive south of San Francisco. And I grew up in East Menlo Park, East Palo Alto area as well. And as a kid, we moved around a bit. So I grew up on the peninsula. I spent a lot of time in Hayward in the East Bay and a bit of time in Sacramento as well. And that's where I live now.
Okay. Okay, so now one of the things I know you are a flight attendant, right?
Yes.
And so as a flight attendant, what are some of the pros and cons of that position? And where are some of the places you visited? So first, let's talk about the pros and the cons of being an airline stewardess.
Yes. So I have been flying as a flight attendant for the past 7 years, and I'd say some of the pros would absolutely be having the opportunity to travel the world, see different places, interact with different cultures. I don't think that I would have taken the time to do so if not within this profession. So I love
Mhm.
that it's afforded me the opportunity to travel and to experience new things. Another pro, the flexibility in schedule, being able to, well, at least gain enough seniority now to where I'm able to make my own schedule. I'm able
Okay, nice.
to, yeah, fly and also focus on my other aspirations as well. So I'll fly X amount of days a week, and then on the other days of the week, I'm focused on my beauty line. I'm focused on internships. I'm focused on my studies. So I'd say another pro is absolutely the flexibility that it affords me. Cons. That's let me be careful about what I say. No, I'm just kidding. But I'd say cons could be, I think at the same time, I'd say the flexibility just because it's unpredictable, the airline industry. There's delays, there's weather, there's
Yeah,
cancellations. So you have to be flexible enough to be able to bend with the, or how do you say it? You have to be able to bend with the airline schedule. If something
yeah,
happens, you can't be upset like, oh, I'm supposed to be off today. I'm supposed to be going home tonight. Sometimes you may be stuck in a random city in the country and you're there. So you have to be able to adapt and you have to be able to have a good attitude because you're not only representing yourself, you're representing the company, you're representing the brand. And not only is it an inconvenience for you, it's also an inconvenience for your customers as well. So
Wow, very well put. That's beautiful. And it really doesn't sound like a con personally. It's just reality, right? And like you said, the professionalism of the job. So good for you. So now, where are some of the places you've gone? What has this wonderful career, where has it allowed you to go?
so within the United States, I've had the opportunity to travel. I wouldn't say I've hit every state yet, but we're close. So I've been up and down the East Coast. I've been across the South, the Northwest, all of that. Out of the country, I've seen a bit of Europe. I'd love to see some more. I've been to London. I've been to Paris. South America and Central America, those are my favorites. So Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, Costa Rica. Where else?
Oh, that's beautiful. That is so
Argentina,
awesome.
Uruguay. Just I enjoy there as well. I want to do a little bit more. I want to see Australia. I want to see New Zealand. My first trip as a flight attendant was actually Osaka, Japan, which was
Ah,
fun, really fun. Very different culture, but very eye-opening. And I'd say that's one place that I really enjoyed.
now, believe it or not, Tiffany went to Osaka, Japan to dance. I don't remember how old she was. I know she was little. She was like 8 or 9. She did
Mhm.
ballet. She was ballet with this ballet company, Ballet Celeste International. And they ended up at one point, part of their trip, they stayed with the host family.
Oh
And
wow.
it was wonderful where she told me, she says, Mommy, I don't ever want to go someplace else when I don't know the language. She says, but one thing that I learned, the smile is universal. Where she
Yeah.
said that's what they did the whole time, just, when she was at the host family, just smiling. And so it was a great experience. So you saying that just brought back all of that for me with her. So good for you. So you have seen quite a bit. That is awesome. And then
Yeah,
there's more you want to do, right?
yeah, and I'd say Tiffany's right in that sense. While it can be scary to go to another country and not know the language, I think that it's important to, if the person is able to do that within their lifetime, just to have that experience. When I went to Paris for the first time a couple of years ago, I don't speak French, so just being by myself in a foreign country, trying to listen to the announcements on the subway and read the signs,
Mm,
get lost and figure things out, it empowers you in a sense. It kind of reinforces your independence. And I
yes.
think that while it can be scary, it's a great experience as well.
Good for you, little adventurer. So, Cash, now you are an aspiring broadcast journalist and reporter who just completed an amazing internship. So tell me a little bit about that. And at some point, I do want to share the coverage that you did during your internship. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Sure. So I interned with Spectrum News One, Southern California. It's a news station that is in the LA Orange County area. And basically, I was working out of their Sacramento bureau station. So they have just like a subset station, standalone independent that reports on news Northern California. The station is actually in close proximity to the state capitol, so they cover a lot of political news and whatnot. So while working in this internship, I had the opportunity to just immerse myself into the newsroom, learn everything reporting, shadow some photographers, shadow some reporters, and just kind of take it all in and decide where I wanted to go within it. And as my final project for the internship, I completed a news package that actually had the opportunity to air on the network. And I'm sure we'll show it, but it was about a young Black woman from South Central LA who unfortunately went missing and was murdered, and just been trying to figure out what happened. And I connected her story to the missing white woman syndrome.
Mm,
And just the fact that, yeah, it's a fact, the fact that a lot of Black women and women of color do not get as much coverage in the media feel when they go missing, as opposed to white women.
Okay, so that's what the white women syndrome, that's what that's called?
The missing white woman syndrome, yes.
Okay. Okay, so let's show a little bit about that so people can get an understanding of what you actually did. It's taking its time to get going. Okay, what is going on? Okay. I don't know what's taking it so long to do what it does, yeah.
Love, the Gabby Petito tragedy. That is the working title of an upcoming special on HLN. That's a division of CNN. There has been so much coverage of the 22-year-old woman who went missing during a cross-country trip with her boyfriend, who was later discovered dead. Not as much coverage of other similar stories, especially situations involving women of color. Our Cashea Airy brings us the story of one South LA mother seeking to remedy this disparity.
Shalissa Collier has been relentless in her fight to get justice for her daughter, Maikiana Johnson, who went missing almost 2 years ago.
If don't nobody else fight for her, I have to do it. I have to be her voice.
Maikiana went missing in September 2020. A week after her disappearance, her body was found in the backseat of her car at Jesse Owens Park near her home in South LA. Maikiana was reportedly with her boyfriend and 2 young daughters on the night she went missing. While investigators later reopened the case, Shalissa feels like the department is not doing enough to bring justice to her daughter.
Make it a priority. Work it till you can't work it no more. And hopefully that's when whoever did whatever, they are locked up, under the jail. I don't care where you put them. But these deaths, somebody needs to be held accountable.
The U.S. Census reported that nearly 40% of women reported missing were Black, even though Black people only make up 13% of the population. Dr. Danielle Slakoff at Sacramento State University has focused much of her research on this trend, often referred to as the missing white woman syndrome.
We know that the media itself is not as diverse as our country is, and I think that's just one of the many reasons why we continue to see this.
Missing white woman syndrome is a term that was coined by journalist Gwen Ifill. It states that white missing women are overrepresented in the media while missing women of color are underrepresented.
I really don't think you can take away the fact that it's profitable to cover certain missing people. And unfortunately, until we figure out how to make all stories that profitable, I'm not sure that we're gonna see a difference.
Even though Dr. Slakoff has been researching missing white woman syndrome for the past 7 years, she explains that it was Gabby Petito's case that brought national attention to her work. In her research, she makes the connection between intimate partner violence and homicide, something we saw in Petito's case and many others involving missing women.
This will be the baby, and then this one would be her oldest daughter.
And as for Shalissa, she explains that her family and her granddaughters are her main support system as she strives to get justice for Maikiana.
If it takes the last breath of me, she will get justice. She will get it.
And that means finding and prosecuting those responsible for Maikiana's death.
Coming up after the break, the last 2 years have been incredibly challenging for
Okay, so wait a minute, let me turn this off and then that way we can get back to our, I always have the,
Then should you get missing during a cross?
okay, so Cash, now, one of the things that I know about you is that you're off to work on your master's in journalism, right?
Yes, I'm currently working on my master's. This is my first semester.
Okay, and what school are you attending again?
I'm studying American journalism at New York University.
Okay, that is awesome. So you must be pretty excited about that, right?
I am. The way it came about, it was always in the back of my head to go to grad school. I just never took the leap, and I had faith and took the leap, and here I am. So I'm excited to have the opportunity to transition into a career that I'm passionate about.
Now, so tell me this. So the story that you just covered, are these some of the stories that you want to continue to work on, shining a light on the disparities with African Americans? And I'm sure there's so many things you want to cover, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't necessarily say only focusing on the disparities. I wish to tell stories about marginalized communities like my own. So it could be a small village in a country that we've never heard of before. You know,
Sure.
it could be anything. I just think
Yeah.
that these smaller communities, these people who don't often get their stories told in the media, I think it's important to share that. And I hope that as I step into my career, I can tell those stories.
Oh, I cannot wait, girl, because you're going to be awesome. I'm just so proud of you. I don't know what to do.
Thank you.
Okay, so now let's kind of switch a little bit and talk about your beauty line called Sincerely Cash. I understand you offer makeup tools and tips and for makeup artists. What is your hottest selling item? And tell me, how did you get started in that business?
Yeah, so I started my business during the pandemic. I took a little bit of time away from flying, and I've always enjoyed makeup. So I was like, you know what? People are always asking me where I get my lashes from, where I get this, where I get that from. So I said, hey, let's find a quality product, team with some great vendors, and design my own line and sell my own product. So far, I would say that my most popular product has been my skin illuminating highlighter. And the
Okay.
highlighter basically goes here, like right above the cheekbones, and gives your skin a little bit of glow, accentuates your cheeks, and people seem to be really loving that product.
Oh, that is so awesome. And so where do you sell your products, or are you online or?
Yes, e-commerce. So I don't have a brick and mortar store. I sell everything online at sincerelycash.com.
Okay, okay. And so those beautiful lashes on you right now, or are those yours? I can never tell.
Oh no, these are the lashes from Sincerely Cash.
Okay, they're
They're
beautiful.
in
They
the
look so
style of
natural. They look
pink.
very natural. They're beautiful.
Yeah,
Yes.
my line isn't going to be it's your everyday makeup. So
Okay.
for the women who, like I said, everyday women, you know, if you're just looking to just put a little something to accentuate your beauty, you can, but it also has the opportunity to be buildable to build it for an evening look or something more dramatic.
Okay. Okay. Very nice. All righty. So this has been exciting learning about your career aspirations as a journalist, you as a businesswoman, entrepreneur. You have so much going on. So now I would like for you to tell me. Now, this is going to really kind of make you go like, what? Tell me 3 people that have inspired you. I'm sure there's probably more, but I only want 3.
Really, that's a tough question. 3 people who have inspired me. Hmm. I guess we'll start with my mother. I'll
Okay.
absolutely say that she has inspired me. Not to go too much into her background, but she had me when she was a teenager, and we kind of grew up together in that sense. So just kind of watching her build her life, build her career, go after her dreams and aspirations inspires me to do the same. And
Yes.
it instilled a certain independence within me. So I definitely say that I admire her for that. She's inspired me in those ways.
That's, that's beautiful. That's one.
Oh, three more people.
Countdown.
Oh, this is so tough. Mm, I don't necessarily know if I would say they inspire me, but they're people who I look up to.
Okay.
There is a news anchor or correspondent. She's a national correspondent for CBS. Her name is Eureka Duncan,
Okay.
and she is a Black woman like me, and she's working. Well, she's been working in journalism forever, but just her poise and the way that she carries herself in front of the camera and the type of stories that she decides to tell about these smaller marginalized communities. I just really admire her work. So I'd say that I look up to her as well. And one more person, inspired me. I'll give you 2, but they're kind of grouped together. I'd say
Okay.
I have 2 younger brothers, and they are both about in high school, middle school and high school. And they inspire me because they give me a reason to work as hard as I do. They give me a reason to travel and see all these places. They give me a reason to go after my career goals because I want to show them that it is possible. You don't have to settle. You don't have to just fall into a job just to pay the bills and make ends meet. You know, I want to show them that you can live your life, you can go after your dreams, and that it's possible. So I'd say they inspire me to keep going, and I hope that they're proud.
Oh, what a beautiful tribute to your brothers. And so being a role model for them. That's awesome. That is really, really awesome. So it was your mom, the newscaster, and your brothers. Beautiful. So now, what would the 9-year-old Cashea say to the grown-up Cashea now? What would she say to you?
These are great questions. I may have to take some notes. You would say to keep going. She would be in awe at how much she's done so far, and she would say, just keep making these goals and keep tackling them, and don't let anyone get in your way.
It's beautiful. So now, what advice would you give to young aspiring journalists or makeup artists? What would you say to them?
What advice would I give? Mm,
And especially as you're pursuing your career right now, what are some of the challenges, and then what are some of the things that make you feel really proud and to let you know that you're on the right track? What are you doing that gives you that keeps you going?
I would say, and this is advice that I would give myself now that I still need to take as well. Get out of your own way and don't be afraid to
Yes.
ask for help. You know,
Yeah.
as I mentioned earlier, I've always been this independent girl, independent woman. Like I can do it by myself. Like, yeah, I may struggle and it may take me longer if I do it alone, but I got this. Yes, that's great, and power to those who want to do that. But you also have to realize that the people, your loved ones, people who you look up to, people around you are there as your village to help you.
Yeah.
So make connections, network, put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I'm not strongest in this area. Will you help me? Because when I did that, I noticed that I was able to accomplish these goals and take these steps that I never thought that I would be able to do. So yeah,
That's be
absolutely. Just get out of your own way and don't be afraid to ask for help.
no, that is excellent advice, and I mean, all of us can use that because we can get in our own way because we're up in our head and who knows what's going on up there. But having a support system is what makes it work. What makes it work. Wow, this has been such an incredible interview. I am just so pleased and so happy that you were able to join me on Straight Talking with Kelly, where real conversations happen, because we really did have a real conversation. The work that you did during your internship was phenomenal, to focus on that young girl and to give her mom that voice to be seen and heard. That was very touching, very moving, and I just know you're going to do so much more.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited for you. And so definitely keep me posted with what's going on in your career. And then I'll look forward to having you back.
Of course, I will definitely keep you updated. As of right now, I'm working on the relaunch of my brand, Sincerely Cash. So that'll be happening this March 2023. So just
Oh, okay.
my website and my social media, which I'm sure you'll list somewhere in the description.
Yes, absolutely. I definitely will list it.
If you want to keep up with my writing, I am currently a reporter for The Click. You can visit theclick.news where you'll find all of the current stories that I'm writing.
Okay. Oh, that is awesome. Girl, you are definitely moving and shaking, huh? I love it. Moving and shaking. All righty. Well, Cash, I want to say thank you again for being on Straight Talking with Kelly, where real conversations happen. To my listening audience, I want to thank you for being here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, and share. So, Cashea, until we meet again, take
Thank you
care.
so much for having me.